In control against Artosis debate, and keep going back and forth.
That'll be easy.
In control against Artosis debate. Keep going back and forth.
All right, guys, what's up? State of the game today is October the 4th, 2011. I'm your host, JP McDaniel, and we've got a lot of Protosses on the show, so everyone else out there looking for us to be unbiased, well, you're just going to have to deal with it. So we've got a very sick Dan Artosis Stemkowski. Dan, are you feeling better?
I'm feeling a lot better than yesterday, and I'll feel better tomorrow. The day after that is Friday.
Sounds good. Thank you for that, Artosis. Fresh from the Red Bull end, we got Tyler, a.k.a. Liquid Tyler. Tyler, how's it going?
It's going well, man.
Well, we'll be talking about your match earlier today in the MLG Global Invitational in just a little bit. The man who left the U.S. to practice with the far superior Europeans, Jeff in Control Robinson. Jeff, how's it going?
Doing good, man. I had a mini heart attack, so I was really worried we wouldn't have a Protoss on the show.
Yeah, well.
So really glad White Raw's here.
Yeah.
Anytime I have an opportunity to spend time with White Raw, it's fantastic. Alexi, many a drink in IPL.
No, thank you. You say, hey, let's go drink, but drink one bottle beer and not drink anymore.
Well, it's not my fault you're an alcoholic, but it's...
Yeah. So, but why you change you and won't now drink?
We drink many.
Oh God, this is gonna be a great show. The guy.
Hello everyone. I'm now in near Atlantic City in the PC room. Near me practice hack and socky. And sorry if people walking around. So it's PC room in USA.
Yeah, there will be kind of background noise throughout the show, but
JB, I can interpret for him too, and I can actually do White Raw if you need it.
Okay, awesome. I'll use that during the show then. Thanks for the help, Jeff. Of course, the last member is going to be the guy who's been jacked up on sugar-free Red Bull for the past 5 days. Sean, how's it going, man?
It's going great because I'm jacked up on sugar-free Red Bull.
I don't know, man.
And
you were energetic this afternoon when we spoke. You were definitely on that Red Bull.
I'm just in a great mood, like, about life in general. It might be because I actually went with Toki and bought like a stack of comic books. I spent like $200 on comics, and I've just been like blasting through them. So
nice.
That's been very exciting.
I gotta ask, what did you buy? Like, what type of comics? If you can name some names.
I actually only buy trade paperbacks. I don't like the individual issues, and it's because it looks better on a bookshelf if you have everything. So I got the first 3 volumes of Unwritten. I'm on Invincible as well, which is a weird ass comic, like totally weird. Gotham Central, I've heard a ton of good shit about, so I got that one. And then the guy at the store was like, "Huh, you like that sort of stuff? You might like this." And then he told me something about this one story, and I don't remember what he told me, but I was just like, "Sure, let's buy it." So I got it, and it's called Favard and the Grey Mouser. It's just like a real adventure story comic book. So I really like the comic book medium. I think that it is the superior storytelling medium. Yeah, it's awesome.
Interesting. Well, a lot of people will probably go pick those up because they have no idea what you just said. I don't even know what that last one was. Yeah. My brother's actually a giant comic book fan. I've never heard of that or seen that, so I guess I'll have to look into it.
It's by the whole motherfuck. I just knocked everything over. I'll be right back.
Well, Sean's leaving early, guys. At least he came on for 5 minutes today. But let's talk about the Red Bull land. Tyler, Sean, and White Raw, you guys were all there. Tyler, since you don't say that much, we're going to have you start off and talk to us about the Red Bull land and what that experience was like.
So the Red Bull LAN was a 12-player event that happened at Red Bull headquarters in Santa Monica, California this past weekend, 3-day event. No competition. The goal of the LAN was to make all the players improve their play. That was it. We're training together. We're helping each other out. We had a stream go out for 5 hours a day, showing some matches, and those were not competitive matches, they were training matches, and day 9 had a very nice analytical style and was kind of explaining the way we train with deliberate training, where you work on something specific in a game and try to figure it out. So that's what we did. Red Bull was amazing. They hosted, it was just awesome. They provided everything, the best food, nice hotel, travel everywhere, and all the Red Bull you could drink.
Masseuses, professional masseuses.
Yeah, and masseuses,
Really?
yeah. They had 2 masseuses there the whole time that were just nonstop massaging people. You could just go to them anytime, ask for a massage, and they would do it. And
Wow.
oh, and they had a physiologist there that helped people with making sure that they're at their best performance at all times. Things like staying hydrated is one thing that most gamers are really bad at, but if you read any of the science, you really have to be well hydrated all the time to actually be at your best performance mentally and physically. So your reaction time, your critical thinking, all those kinds of things will be better if you're hydrated. So they had a physiologist like doing like blood tests and urine tests and monitoring heart rates and stuff to make sure that people actually stayed at their peak performance. And I think a lot of guys learned a lot of stuff about that, took home some knowledge. And yeah, I just tweeted to Sheth about sipping water. Because, yeah, that was the thing to do at Red Bull. Drink a Red Bull, but then sip water, stay hydrated.
Wow. I mean, they didn't even mention any of that on the stream, so that's pretty awesome to hear. Sean, you were doing most of the, if not all the casting for that.
Yeah.
What was it like for you being at that event? And, I mean, are we going to see more of those? You probably know a little bit more behind the scenes, or at least can hint to something coming up in the future, maybe.
I'm pretty excited to see how the future plans end up sort of manifesting themselves. I'll stay focused on like what actually happened at that specific event. Let me begin with the one unfortunate thing, which is that when I was casting, I couldn't go over and chat with the players because that was like the really fun aspect of it all.
Yeah.
And I am a firm believer in the idea of like deliberate practice when you're out there playing. Because if you're not asking yourself, what am I actually trying to get better at, you're not actually going to get better. In SC1, there were a ton of kids like on East who would like play more than like Boxer at his prime, and were just like constant siege, just like because they would just sit down and play, and they'd be trying to find whatever they could to win, and they wouldn't be saying something like, I'm trying to work on macro, I'm trying to beat mech, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. So it was a real treat to sit there with all those 12 players and be like, all right, guys, tell each other what you're going to be working on. Or in this training session, what are you trying to work on? You know, like I remember, what was it? Like the Chef Tyler match I remember a lot, where Tyler was working on a new build, and it was like, Tyler, you're going to play 2 games where it's just against normal standard play. And then you're going to play 2 games where it's all cheese. And Chef, you're going to be the training dummy, and you're just going to cheese in these 2 games, or you're just going to play straight up in these 2 games. And it kind of tests and pushes the extremes of the build. And if you're not alternating between like stability testing of your build and then weakness testing of your build, then you're not quite going to be able to figure out how to elevate it to the next level versus actually find out if it's a good build at all. You should move on. So it was really, really cool. And to be totally vain, I gave a bit of feedback to Bomber in between one of his games, and he used it the next game and crushed White Raw with it. And I was like, I was like freaking out, man. I got wiggly, Artosis. I wiggled. I got noodle-like. I was like overcooked ramen after that one game. It was really cool.
And actually, Bomber, the language barrier is there. He's actually pretty good at English, though, for Korean Standard. And
They didn't have a translator there?
Well, they did, but
Oh.
he actually, like talked with players and stuff. From what I could see, I know he gave some advice to Sheth, I think, and I saw him talking to several players and giving a lot of games. And he wasn't just owning everyone. Like, people were taking games off him, and I'm sure he was learning things too.
That's what I like to hear.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was actually, I will say, that I think was one of the more incredible aspects of LAN, is because, I mean, all the players kind of have a deep respect for each other, but then there's like Bomber, and it's kind of like, fucking Bomber, man, it's Bomber. You know, everyone kind of expects him to just crush everybody. And that just didn't happen. And
Yeah,
like,
it really did.
like it was really cool to see. In particular, what was like real, I think most fun for me was like seeing the personality of players in practice, because even though the stream started at 5, I was talking with and working with all the players starting at like noon or 1 when everyone was setting up. Like QXC, I'm so impressed with how much of a tank he is. Because he goes to Harvey Mudd, which is like a hard school. Because like I went there and it just brutalizes you. And then like he's like training, and he would just play like 1,000 games, and he'd be like fine with it, right? Just be like, he's like, all right, Bomber, let's play it, let's do it, let's play. And I know what that intimidation factor is like, where it's like, well, I kind of want to play him. I don't know. Maybe I'll just sit next to him and play somebody else, you know? But QX's like, no, let's play like 15 games in a row. But far and away the most inspiring player was, of course, White Raw, who was just going to people like, you're not playing? Play 40 games. 40 games now. Practice more. You need to train. You're awesome, Alexi. So Alexi played 40 to 45 games per day. Is that right?
Near 40, yeah. But many players lazy. Play 5 games and make a pause, rest.
Yeah.
It happens every day.
Dude, Alexi would play like 8 games back. It was like 8 games back to back to back to back against Saka, and Saka would be like, all right, I need 5 minutes off. And Alexi would be like, no, 40 games. And then just like play Bomber like 9 times in a row. Like no break ever. And you should have been taking breaks to hydrate.
Only Bomber can play a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Still, I think
Bomber was very tank-like as well. Just quietly blasted through a bajillion games. It was great. So, and they took me skydiving. That was the other good
we
part
saw
of the
that
land.
tweet. How, of all the people to skydive in this call, you would probably be the one that I would think would be the one not to do it. How was that?
No,
experience,
that's
Sean?
me, JP.
No, you guys
Not
fucking read
skydiving.
wrong. That's definitely me.
Really?
Jesus Christ.
You
Jump
guys
out
don't
of
like
the
heights or what?
I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big man, JP. I don't want to be jumping out of planes.
I would love In Control strapped to a skinny skydiver.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
He's
I'd
like
like to
5'5".
treat you to skydiving. I'd say I'd like to treat you to shut the fuck up. I'm not jumping out of any plane.
Dude, seriously, if you got like strapped to one of those skydivers, it'd be like that scene in Arachnophobia when the big spider's like trying to grapple onto the grown man. Oh man, that would be
I don't
awesome.
think I could do it either.
I would actually, like, if the plane was burning and it was about to crash into a mountain and I was the pilot, I would look back and be like, well, we're going to hit that shit. We're all going to die. They're like, we have parachutes. I'd be like, you're not jumping on my fucking plane. Like, no one's going anywhere. We're going to hit that mountain. You're going to die. That's just the way it is. And I feel the same way about surgery. Like, it could be a very simple thing. They'll be like, we need to cut you open. I'll be like, nope. And they're like, you're going to die. You're going to die if you don't have surgery. I'll be like, that's fine with me.
Wow.
Get the painkillers, man.
That's a little bit far, Jeff. I don't
You
know.
think so?
The
That's-
plane one, I'm all with you. I'm not going to jump out of any airplanes. That's just not going to happen. Like,
Dan,
Dude, I almost want planes to crash in the mountains now, man. It's fucking sweet. I recommend it.
but you wouldn't have a surgery. That's
No, I'm exaggerating. Like, but it's like one of my biggest fears. That and swimming in the effing ocean where sharks are. Not going to do that either.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I mean, is
pretty
it
bad.
swimming in the ocean or is it swimming with sharks?
Like, where it's deep enough for sharks to be, you won't ever fucking
Sharks can
see me.
come right up
Wait,
on
so you mean like
Yeah.
like 3 miles offshore?
No. I mean, like, where there's people sitting on longboards and they're waiting for a wave so that they can slide on it and just ride it into the beach. I don't do that shit.
But in California, ocean very cold.
White Raw.
Yeah,
That's where the great whites are, man.
yeah.
That's where the biggest sharks are.
That is true.
Very coldy.
White Raw, how was the Red Bull land for you?
I like it very much because too many people join each other, but I think 3 days it's not enough. For this event, I need 1 week. Because only last day we all be ready for play many games. Just when all starting, it's finished. You understand?
Yeah. What, I mean, you said that all the players are lazy there. Do you think that's something that exists in all the foreigners?
Yes, I think we're not ready for play all games. We like make many pauses between games, go eating, someone smoke, drink, relax. But I think if you have time and we have very good enemy, very good partners for practice, you need to spend as much as you can your time for practice, because it's we not meeting all times and many times for this event. So it's need spend all time, all free time.
Jeff, I mean, in the EG house, how much do you guys practice each day? Are you guys basically sitting down each day to practice for a limited number of hours, or is it just kind of come as you want?
When there's not an event for a really long time, it gets a little bit more lax, but the nice thing about it is that we're all, what do we do for entertainment? What do we do for fun? What do we care about? We play StarCraft. So at our most lax casual day, it's 8 hours, but like before IPL, like we've been doing now, before MLG and stuff like that, it gets up to 12, 14 hours, which is weird to say because it doesn't feel like that, but we sit down, we play all day long, and that's just what we do around event time.
Well, I think it might have paid off for two of your members who just played in the IEM Guangzhou. Is that how it pronounced? Did I say it right, guys?
Yep.
Awesome. Yes, that's a victory for me.
IEMGX, yeah.
We had Idra winning the whole thing, and Puma, did he win the third, fourth place match?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so he got third. Jeff, you're probably the one most close to both these players, really. What was that like there in the EG house, seeing your two teammates kind of get to the end?
I would be lying if I told you I didn't get teared up a little bit. I went into that looking at it and saying, well, Puma's going to demolish Greg. They played 22 games or something like that in practice here before the last events, and Puma won something like 17 or 18 of them in convincing fashion. Not to take away from Greg, he played fantastically well, but Puma, his TVZ is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But for Greg to go into that event, like I'll have to give the full breadth of appreciate for you guys to understand like what I appreciate about that. Like the interview he gave the day before, coming off a 1 and 2 day, I was looking at it like I had my eyes all ready to roll, man. I knew what was going to come out. He was going to blame the game. He was going to blame something. You know, he's going to put all the blame elsewhere and just be kind of pissy. That's what he's done in the past. But actually, what he said was, I thought I played fairly well. I made mistakes, and I'm happy I moved on, basically. And he's like, he was optimistic and he took accountability for it. It was a different Idra. It was absolutely different. So for him to go into the next day, sit down with Revival, and then Puma, and then to get revenge on Elfie, who is a bit of an unknown, but I think that tournament kind of proves he's capable of beating anybody. It's just amazing. It's absolutely stunning and amazing, and I'll give you guys some insight, too. I've solved Idra on something, and this is going to blow a lot of people's minds, and it should, because they don't know this. A lot of people wondered, why did Greg make the face he did after he won, right? And you want to know why he made that face? 100%. And I haven't talked to him. I just know why.
Is it because he's always maximally happy all the time, and that's how he expresses it?
No, Sean, you're wrong. He made that face because he was pissed that he lost to Elfie earlier in the tournament, and then came back in the finals and smashed him that way. That's it. He gets mad when a guy beats him in a match, and then later he has to beat him again. It's actually kind of enter the Kraken. It's a little bit of an enter the Kraken moment there for you.
Well, I also want to give a shout out to DeMuslim, who's like, I understand has been practicing a ton with Greg. Is that accurate?
No.
Like, it's not? Oh.
No.
Really? Because Idra was mentioning that, like, at the last MLG that he'd been playing with DeMuslim a ton.
They play some. But they don't play that much because they constantly hit each other in a lot of tournaments, and it's a little bit hard for two people that hit each other in tournaments on a regular basis to also train together. It kind of messes things up. So, DeMuslim.
Well, that was like a real interesting transition for me to see like the Idra Zerg vs Terran from the last MLG. I mean, going 2 and 3 in his group, losing, or maybe it was 2 MLGs ago. It was one of the recent MLGs. There were 2 that were like right next to each other, where it looked like a very like sort of like shaky ZVT, where like he'd be messed with a little bit, and then he'd have a big lead, and then it would fall apart in the big lead, and then maybe pull it back, and then eventually lose. It was just like kind of high variance, and those games against Puma were just like slowly moving up, and okay, maybe Puma comes back, we're slowly moving up, and it was like that solid upward trajectory that really makes you just be like, whoa, he's playing really well. Holy shit.
the game on Shattered Temple was amazing because he faced a Turtle Terran, where Idra in the past would face that and get extremely frustrated because the Terran just hasn't left yet because he went mutas. But instead he did Nidus Worms, he did drops, he was counterattacking, he was actually losing armies, but exchanging them, you know, a concept that Idra actually doesn't really apply to a lot of his games up until now. And then the next game, Tal'Dar Malter, I think a lot of people would agree, is a breaking point. I don't know if an evolution, I guess, is what I would call it. Greg should have left. Greg, in the last year, would have left that game like 24 times. Just like, well, he dropped my base again. I lost my Broodlords. I need to leave. But he kept hanging in there, and he stayed in. And you know, Puma is like the Korean Straylock, doesn't actually make harvesters. So as the game goes on, Puma starts losing more and more harvesters. Greg actually clawed his way back in, and it was 45 minutes of some of the best EVT I've ever played. It just so happened that that Idra was the guy that was tenacious throughout the entire thing, so it was pretty amazing.
Now, Dan, you said you hadn't watched that yet, right?
Yeah.
Tyler, did you watch the finals at all? I know you watched the PvP games,
Yeah,
right?
I got the replays of the finals and I watched them.
I mean, do you have any quick thoughts? Obviously, that's not your race or anything like that, but...
My race was in the finals. It was PVZ, Elfie versus Idra.
Oh, sorry, I was distracted. I was looking at IPL breaks for some reason. Anyways, yeah,
Those finals haven't been played yet either.
Yeah, for some reason I thought Puma Idra was also the finals, because it seems to me like
yeah.
everyone was watching that game instead of the actual finals, because everyone thought Idra was just going to roll over him. But of the actual finals, what did you think?
I mean, I felt like Elfie could have played a lot better. I need to watch all of his games from the tournament. But the finals, I just saw like a lot of mistakes that he made, and it was kind of like facepalm moments for me. I could go into specifics. I don't know how many other people watch the games, though.
Well, I did.
Get discussion going.
Sure, do it.
Like, okay, well, the Roach Rush that ended the tournament, whatever. I'll ignore that. Let's see. I need to load up these replays real quick because my memory is
I could
terrible.
jog your memory on something that was interesting.
Oh, wait. Okay, go ahead.
The Terminus game, where
Yep.
Elfie played the most straight-up basic Protoss humanly possible, and
Yep.
went Stalker Colossus, and literally that's it, straight up against Broodlords, which I think Tyler would agree. I mean, if you just have Stalkers against Broodlords, you're running a severe, ridiculous risk. But he actually started crushing Greg. I mean, to give my own aside, like, he was hitting at that one moment when the Broodlords aren't really ready. He was crushing bases,
Yeah.
Zealots were running around. And that was another game where I was like, well, Greg leaves, and this is going to be crappy, this is going to be terrible. Frickin' stayed in there, man, and the Broodlords did their good, so...
So here's my read on that game. First of all, Elfie didn't get up his second gas at his natural forever, and it wasn't because he was cutting probes. Like his minerals were oversaturated, and he actually built the assimilator. He just wasn't collecting gas, and I mean that's so important for Protoss to get all the gas they can get. I think by the time he actually started collecting, the other geyser had already mined 500 or so, so he was basically down 500 gas, just a straight mistake. Oh. So that kind of sucks. Idra, I felt like he overroached. He was going for this thing that I think has been done successfully on Terminus a couple times in the past, where you just you get so many free drones because the Protoss doesn't harass you, and then you can literally max on Roach by 12:30.
You have to
and just
attack
shove
him,
him.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, you just shove him down the Protoss throat, and the Protoss has to scramble to defend. And I actually thought Elfie defended that well enough. He could have defended it even easier if he mined that gas, but he did it well enough. And then here were his problems. He didn't start weapons upgrades until too late into the game, and so when he moved out, his +2 was just barely finishing. And then this is what really hurt my soul, is that he's he gets in a position outside of Idra's 4th, and he's crushing it. Idra attacks in a bad position, and the Stalker Colossus crushes Idra. Idra doesn't have Broodlords ready yet, and that's the timing here, because if the Zerg overroaches, then and you defend it well, then you have this counterattack timing where they've gone Hive too slowly,
Yep.
and it's very old school PvZ that all the Zergs complained about. So that was kind of the situation in this game, and he's doing well. And then he's warping in more stalkers. And I'm like, all right, he's just going to shove with all stalkers now, and it's going to be over. And then he starts +3 weapons. 250 gas, and then he has no gas and he makes 6 zealots, which do absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And then the nail in the coffin was that he didn't have blink at this time.
Yep.
Like, what happens here is the Protoss shoves. If the Zerg's in a bad position, then the Protoss has too many Stalkers left over. He keeps warping in more Stalkers right there, and he has blink, so they never die. He didn't have blink, and then he wasted 250 gas on a weapons upgrade that wouldn't ever matter because he's supposed to win the game right then, and if he doesn't, then he's going to lose. So he just didn't follow up on that timing the way he should have. So that really hurt me on Terminus. I mean, he played really well, but it's just a couple of mistakes like that against a player like Greg, and you just lose.
Yeah.
What was the other map? Was it Shattered?
Oh, well, there's the Phoenix game on Shakira's.
Shakira's, that was
cool.
I feel like Greg could have won that. And again, if you look at Elfie's build in the replay, it was kind of inefficient. So I bet Greg was kind of mad because I felt like he definitely could have defended that.
There was a moment where there were the 2 spore crawlers in the main, and Greg moved out with I think it was 7 or 8 Hydras, out away from the spores. So they just got lifted and killed off by the Phoenixes. And it was just if he just stayed behind the spores, he would have been in great shape.
Yeah,
well, there's that, and then also you don't single file the Hydras or Queens out at the clump of 6 Phoenix.
Yeah.
You just sit, let him kill the guys or let him kill the spawning pool. Let him it's a 2-base all in. The Zerg has the other bases scouted. It's a bunch of zealots in your base, which mean once you get critical mass, they're not going to do anything. But Greg just kept rallying stuff into it, and eventually he got ground down. It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
White Rod, did you happen to catch any of the IEM games?
I see games between Elfie and Stilok. Elfie play pretty well, but Stilok not show good game.
Okay, well,
and I very sad when Dimaga lost. He showed so perfect game in group stage, beat Koreans and rest people 2-0, and lost Hasops when he have scored 2-2. He lost last game, but Hasops play pretty good, and he, I think, can go in final. After he lead 2-all with Elfie, I not see this game, but see score. Maybe he a little bit relaxed, and same time Elfie more focusing in game and make a great comeback.
Well, I think we're going to take a quick break. We still got a couple more things to talk about IEM Guangzhou, and then we'll be moving on to IPL3 and some other discussion points, which you can see right here on that side of the screen. So guys, when we come back, more IEM discussion and also more State of the Game. We'll see you guys then.
How long do we have break?
With +1 weapons, kind of all-in-ish, but then he ended up at not being all-in. Mm-hmm. And here's what I think about these heavy gateway timing attacks now, 6 gate or 7 gate, is that you shouldn't all-in with them, ever.
That's
I mean,
true.
maybe once in a while to metagame it, but what you really want to do is put together an attack that will kill the third or not kill the third, whatever. But just put together an attack with the goal of killing a third and do your best with it and be teching and probing up a little more, getting all 4 gases in the meantime, and not just building more and more units nonstop. Because if Elfie had done that, he could have killed Greg's third super easily. And Greg's third was actually going to finish before he got there, so Greg couldn't even cancel it, even though he had gone for a macro hatch. This is his 4th hatchery for his third. So he would have killed that and just left, and Greg really couldn't have done anything about it. But what he ends up doing is, doing this endless 7 gate, I'm just going to keep building units as long as I feel like it, and attacking into a bunch of spine crawlers, not even going for the third. He doesn't even scout the third. He doesn't care that there's a third. This is clearly just I'm going to try to kill you now or lose the game kind of build. And just watching this game, it's just I can see now how if you just scale it back a little bit and abuse the fact that you have so much sentry energy, use the sentry energy to kill the third and then get out, then it's awesome. What happens with these attacks is you use the sentry energy or they die, and then all of a sudden you're just warping in units without having a billion force fields, and that means you're getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Like there's one timing when you have all that sentry energy, and that's when you're really, really strong. And so you need to set like an easy goal, kill that hatchery at the 3rd, and leave. And meanwhile, you're already like teching. You're not even using all your gates anymore. So I think 7 gates a bad idea. Probably a 6 gate. Just go 6 gate and do this, and it would be so sick. Like I think he would have had like such a smooth build if he had done that. And I was hoping he was going to do that as he went down, and then he saw a million spine crawlers and was like, "Yeah, I'll attack into that." And then the game was pretty much over when Idra defended that. He followed that up really nicely with mutas and such.
That was a beautiful analysis of 7 gate. You should never all in with it. Seriously, I use that build all the time right now. I've been like studying it for a long time, and it's like the perfect reset button against a Zerg 3rd base, and then you just go home while teching, and you can take an expansion, that your sentries charge up. It's an awesome build, but too many people are just like, well, it's 7 gateways, it's all in. Actually, no, it transitions really nicely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sean, did you
It's
watch
sentry energy, man.
Did you watch any of the games?
Yeah, no, I watched the whole series, and I think that is like spot on. I mean, like even in a more simplistic statement, like there were like 6, 7 spine crawlers at the natural and like an undefended 3rd, and I just that one decision just felt like off. But you know, that's the sort of thing that just like happens when you're in the finals, and it's easy to look at it from our point of view and be like, "Yeah, I shouldn't have done it," but you know. Either way, I'm sort of happy to see that Elfie did so incredibly well.
Well, the other thing I want to talk about, obviously, Slasher is going to be losing his hair. But you brought up the comment that foreigners in the foreigner community is weighing this win a little bit too heavily for Idra to take off because of the Koreans that played in it. I just want to get y'all's thoughts on that.
No, not really. You know, it is one of the weakest tournaments that we've had of the big tournaments. I think Assembly was probably a little bit weaker,
Right.
but it was weaker than like an MLG or you know some of these other huge tournaments that we've seen, like the DreamHack and stuff. But it's still pretty damn big. Puma has been like slaughtering nerds, so for him to beat him was huge. The TSL guys that went are doing really well overall. You know, Revival and JYP aren't jokes.
Yeah.
And who else went for Koreans? I can't even think of it now.
Rain, I think, was the other.
Oh, yeah. Well, Rain's good, but I don't know how much I consider him a Korean anymore. I mean, yeah,
Jinro.
he's a Korean, but...
I think
Jinro's
Jinro
not
was
a
one of
Korean.
them.
Jinro was-
He
Jinro's
went
a
as a Korean
foreigner.
invite.
Yeah, he went as a Korean
but
invite.
that's like silly, actually. I don't know why they called him that.
I just like I just don't like the attitude. I don't like that perspective. I mean, I respect Slasher. I know he's got to hate on everything, so that's kind of the
That's
role
his-
he's been cast
yeah.
into
Exactly.
ever since he was adopted with the red hair. It's a major tournament. Nobody looks at IEM Guangzhou and says, "Well, that's IEM major circuit. That's not that big of a deal." The Koreans, no, it's not MVP. No, it's not an ST. No, it's not. I mean, we can find better. The foreigners, sure, we're missing a few amazing players. We could have seen better players there. But it's a major tournament, and when a guy sits down with Koreans at that level and other top foreigners and comes out on top, I really despise that the conversation goes, well, it's not the best tournament. It's not even, I can name better ones. Like, fuck that, man. Fuck that. Like, this is a major tournament. It's a huge accomplishment. He's standing up there on stage with Chinese people that don't understand what's being said at the ESL stage. They're not clapping, and it's awkward as shit. Let's give him some props online. Like, I don't want the first tweet from Slasher to be, well, 1 year ago was the last time he won a major tournament, and then, like, he's using that defensively later to say...
Was that
"That's
his
me
first
putting
tweet?
Yeah, he's like, that's perspective, dude. I'm trying to talk about how awesome it is. What the fuck? And then later he says, nah, it's one of the weakest tournaments. I can name a couple other that might be weaker. No, man. Like... I would like it if this community would rally around and be like, that's fucking awesome. Hey, look, a foreigner sat down with Puma, the champion of the NASL, Revival, Code B Zerg, but he's made it out some big matches. He qualified through the NASL qualifier, which was basically a Korean tournament. And then JYP, who Greg, one day before or whatever on Inside the Game was heralding as one of the best Protoss players of our time, right now. One of the up-and-comers. And he beat him. He beat all of them, and he did great. So it's just weird for me to qualify reasons why it's not that big of a deal. I'd rather our community hypes tournaments and hypes players as opposed to the knee-jerk response being, not that great, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Sean, White Raw, or Tyler, you guys have any thoughts on that?
I agree. I mean, I think the only place where you can be critical, which is conveniently my place, is when you're a pro player analyzing the play. I mean, that's the only place where you can really be negative and say, where you kind of ignore the results and you're just looking at the play. That's the one place. But like, if someone wins, you just, congratulate them. That's all there is to say, really.
And I think it's very important for foreigners community because top 2 it's non-Korean players. You maybe forgot this event play in China. It's Asian country and take silver and gold medals in Asian country. It's very huge respect.
And how big of a deal is this for Elfie, a guy who before this tournament was unknown on the scene? Like
Well, he did really well in assembly as well. He killed Nada and stuff.
Yeah, and that's pretty good. That's his one other tournament.
Yeah, he played a lot in European ladder. Yeah, and he show very good micro, and he young player spent a lot of time for practice, and I think he have like perspective player same skill like Mana.
Yeah, I mean, when people talk about European Protosses, they say Mana,
new generation,
and a few others, and they don't say Elfie. But now, after this tournament, you can make a case for Elfie, and I think that's freaking awesome. So, I mean, to echo Tyler's sentiment, like, it's always okay to criticize the games and talk about them and get into that. Like, that's, of course, what we do. I would love it if ESPN took on an MLG or whatever like that, and they broke down the games and talked about why these mistakes were bad. That's an awesome thing. But you don't see the commentators sit there and go, well, it's not that great of a tournament to win, but good job anyways. 1 year ago he might have won a tournament. Like, what the fuck? You don't see that.
Another really great thing about this is since the Koreans started coming to like all the tournaments, the only foreign winners, as far as I can recall, is Damaga for assembly and then Idra now, right?
Huck.
Oh, Huck did win too. All right, so we have 3 foreigners that have picked up tournaments, and they're like these legit top-end players, which is cool to see. It's really shown that StarCraft 2 is becoming such a skilled thing, and these players are taking it really seriously now. Greg has been practicing a lot lately. He went into a slump before where he wasn't, and now he is, and he's showing it. Damaga kind of went off the radar for a little bit, but he's back and kicking ass. And then, of course, Huck has been nonstop practicing in Korea. So it's really nice to see these guys actually like pick it up and show that some foreigners can compete. And thank God it's not StarCraft 1 all over again. It looked like it for a long time, but these 3 have shown that there's still some sort of fighting spirit left.
Yeah,
I got to put a little bit of a stint though. Like it's really popular right now to talk about how Idra's in this huge slump, which I think is a pretty dangerous perspective for us to get in, getting outside of Idra. Like, slump because he hasn't won an MLG, hasn't won a tournament that's been going on right now. We haven't had the tournaments since the Koreans have invaded of that level. Like, foreigners winning foreigner tournaments is cool, but it's not winning an MLG where there's 8 Koreans injected and there's 8 that send themselves because they want a piece of the pie at the end of the rainbow. Like, he actually did really well. He's kicking ass in WCG. He's qualified for ESWC over Sheth. He did really well at BlizzCon. He didn't win it, of course, and that's what, like, if he doesn't win, people expect him to. They talk about how he's in a slump. He's actually doing really, really well. He had mental hurdles, and he's getting over them, and he's doing awesome now. He won a major tournament.
Yeah. Sean, do you got any thoughts on on what was said and also what Slasher was saying?
I feel like part of it comes back to the way that like tournaments are structured. That there's still these sort of like one weekend events where it's just like you blast through it, and I just still kind of like the idea of longer form tournaments just being sort of spread out. And I feel like that absolutely no one can take away from the legitimacy of that win. I mean, at the very least, if you just watch the semifinals of him against Puma, you got to be like, that was pretty hard to do. That was pretty good. 3-0 Puma and those games, that was strong. But, I think that it's so much easier, like, because the whole time when the hate started to come up, I just thought of Jangbi versus Fantasy in the recent Brood War OSL, and it took us till it looks like 9:25 to bring up Brood War.
Not bad.
Like, and in that series, like Jangbi and Fantasy are just not the 2 top Brood War players. just period. I mean, like Flash, Jadong, Beast, who are like the big three for their respective races. And, you know, a lot of people will make, oh, you know, Beast should have won, not, or blah, blah, blah. But, you know, in that finals, when John B won, it was like, well, he's an OSL champion and you can't take that away from him. And this is kind of because there's this extremely long process to actually get there. It wasn't that like he just had a good weekend and the other guy was feeling more jet lagged, and because they had to play, you know, like 50 best of threes over 3 days, the more rested player won. There's no excuse. It's like he had a week before each match, always prepared better and won, and there it is. And I feel like the structure of the tournament will sort of like allow for that better. But I mean, either way, like, props to Greg. I mean, what else?
Slash
can
in
you
the chat
possibly
too
say?
if you want to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, I
You can
mean,
invite him in the call.
I was going to add him to the call, but I think I'll just say he'll get the last word tomorrow on his show. Fuck Slasher. It'll go live, I think.
But nobody watches that.
Well, the people who care will watch it. The people who don't will just say or side with whatever we're saying, Jeff. So we win at the end of the day, don't we?
I just want to win while listening to him cry.
Win in his face.
Yeah.
I want to win
Tyler
all
knows
over
what I
his
want,
face.
yeah.
We
Well-
can take turns winning all over his face.
If I bring him into the call, it'll fuck everything up that comes to the webcams and things like that. So just go watch his show tomorrow. And we'll maybe he'll bring you on tomorrow, Jeff. How about that? How about I make this claim right now that
No, I'll be
You
on
are
a
brought
plane
onto
to
the show.
tournament.
Are you already going to Atlantic City tomorrow?
Yeah,
Does the tournament start on Thursday?
it does.
Okay, so I'm learning new things about IPL3 each day. But
So meeting you very fast, very soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the picture that was just released over on the Blizzard Facebook. We got a quick shot of my desktop, Mark, if you can. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I think Artosis and Jeff, you guys both saw it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a picture.
You can give link, please.
All right, I will link it to you in just 1 second. This is something that was on Blizzard's Facebook, and I'm not really too sure.
Reunion, I think.
Very
It's
early for
reunion.
April Fools.
Like that's-
Is it too early for April Fools, Jeff?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, people described it on Team Liquid already as being like a Hellion that could transform.
You know, it does look like that. The guy that like circled everything and pointed out what it is, it definitely looks like a Hellion that's now walking around. At first, when I woke up and saw that this morning, I was like, oh no, I have to switch to Terran. That's a Marauder with an auto turret on its head. But I think it's probably the walking Hellion.
But
Yeah.
why
would
you
a
think it's
Hellion
Terran?
walk?
Maybe it's Protoss.
They say
Well,
it's
they,
Terran.
they said it was Terran, yeah.
It also
yeah.
has a Terran icon behind it.
It
where
looks
they-
like
they
Zealots.
hit it. It
It's,
looks like a
look-
zealot. I
It
want,
looks like 6 Zealots or
It's a Hellion.
ill Zealots.
I
Yeah.
want your language pack. Do they change your zealots to look like that? Jesus, I might use them more. I've got 2 theories. Okay, first one. JP, are you ready?
Let's hear it.
It's a Moonanite.
It's Moonanite. Uh-oh, I see what you're saying by it's ready. Let me...
Moonanite from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It does have its battle armor on, so you can notice it's got like shin splints. Its hands are holding the death rays.
All right, here's a picture of the Moonanite real quick. For comparison, what do you guys think, chat?
It's a Moonanite. You
close.
might recognize them as the firers of the death ray that you cannot dodge. Don't even try it. It's like virtually impossible. There is no escape. You're practically dead already. I do think that's what it is.
Primitive Earth Towel.
If it's not that, I have another prediction. Okay, StarCraft has already borrowed heavily from the Warhammer world. In the Warhammer world, there are these things called like servitors for the.
Should I Google this too and bring up
Space
an image,
Marines.
Jeff?
You can.
Okay.
I don't know if the picture's going to do it quite as much justice, but they have these guys that are basically field medics. They have this mechanical arm that comes up over their back, and I think what Blizzard might be doing is borrowing from that, and then they have a mechanical medic for the field now.
A mechanical...
So it walks around, and it acts just like a medevac, only it's like the Brood War medic where it walks around, and it heals tanks and mechanical shit.
Too hard to put auto repair on some SCVs.
It is too hard.
Yeah.
It's one less click, and now it can tell tanks to turn their heads and cough, and it can walk behind the Thors and shit.
Doesn't that make it just like the... Remember when they were starting to announce units a long time ago, like before the beta, and the Raven was some other thing? It looked like a flying mule with like a red eye, and it had like one of those arms. So now they just like gave that thing legs. Like, no, we still want to use this. Let's make it walk around.
They also had Silver Surfers in the alpha. That was...
Oh, that's true. Ones that leveled up.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys, which race needs a new unit the least? Is it Terran?
What?
Is Blizzard, like, trolling us here?
Well, it's also Heart of the Swarm too, and they released a Terran unit
Yeah.
first. Like,
It's
what?
like, here's our Zerg
They
expansion.
fucking love
has
Terran.
Dude,
every unit.
Terran has the most units.
Zerg
Literally,
has no
what-
units.
when
Here's
I
another
saw this
Terran
photo,
unit.
I thought it was a Marine with 2 more upgrades. Like, he has his combat shield, but then he also has like a flamethrower, and then he has like a Reaper.
They make Marines
It actually-
better.
That's good.
Yeah, it actually looks like a coffin on the left side that he's
Sean.
carrying around.
For
Yeah.
just
Second
for
combat
150
shields
minerals,
and not a
150
light
gas, you can give your Space Marines power gloves now. So they can like squish Zerglings and shit, and they're throwing zealots across the map, and
And they can play duck hunt with one hand. Yeah, I remember the power glove too. That was awesome.
you're on different planes of that term. But yes.
You already played Duck Hunt with one hand. You just play...
No, 2 hands. How do you stabilize against that?
They had to kick back. It's too
The right
strong.
throw.
It feeds into the conspiracy that Tyler's right. Like, Terran is getting further developed, and they're like leading out with the Terran. You're like, so excited about it. I could see their meeting where they're like, Dustin Brower's like, I've called you all here today because I'm tired of movies where the aliens win. Tired of all the stories of aliens winning. So through StarCraft 2, the Terrans will be victorious. And that's what's just been going on.
That's good.
Now, I think I've asked everyone else on this show what would be the unit that they would want for their respective races, but I haven't asked White Raw. So, White Raw, what do you think Protoss needs in terms of a new unit if you had to make one right now on the spot? Oh, I think your mic is muted. There we go.
Just even answer that.
Yeah, I think we need something like Red Archons. We need very important for Protoss spell like Milstorm in StarCraft 1 because sometimes Zerg very very harassing Protoss and Mariners. So you can use Milstorm and nobody not leave.
But if we get Maelstrom, that means that we could hold units still then storm them. That sounds imbalanced to me. I don't know, man.
But Zerg have fungals. It's
Yeah, Zerg can do both at once.
nobody not
Just give us the real mind control so we can, like, if you're way ahead, you can start stealing SCVs and drones again. Zergs don't do that.
I think
I want
every
steel
race should be given
infestors.
Marines.
Yes.
I think that would really make the game awesome. Just like Marine Infestor versus Marine Medevac. It's like, well, that's pretty even. that's close.
But we need maybe remove mothership and give Protoss Tassadar. It's more effective units, I think.
What?
So many can't really be seen.
More effective
Side
units
numbers.
because mothership. Anyway, not many people using mothership. Too expensive units and too fast die.
I think you're just lazy.
And very
Too
See,
lazy
I
to
actually think
practice
the mothership should not cost minerals or food. It should just be time. If you can only build one of them, just make it so that you can always get a mothership. That's because I don't like this huge. I am actually not exaggerating that much. I don't think the mothership should actually cost like anything. Like that makes more sense to me to have, since you can only build one of it and it takes a ridiculous amount of time. It's like what's on the map, you kill it off, and then you have like a huge timing window. You could even like extend the time of it, but like I just don't like how expensive a mothership is now. Like, oh, we built 4 Vikings. Ugh. I guess I can't use this mothership.
I think there should be an additional upgrade on the Planetary Fortress where it sprouts treads, and then it becomes, I don't know, you could call it the Mammoth
Tank.
Yeah, you can just walk around.
No, man. They should just let it lift off like the other command centers can do. You can just fly it across the map and kill
This
everything.
joke went right over your head, I think, Dan. The Mammoth Tank is from Command & Conquer, which is what Dustin Browder made.
Oh, okay. I'm
Dude,
sorry.
no, that would be all. Screw that. It's like Needles Caress.
I guess
You're
I
like
should go
lifting up
play
and
that.
shooting with the planetary and landing
should.
and lifting and shooting and landing.
Well, we'll have to see. I think maybe at BlizzCon, a lot of information will be coming out for Heart of the Swarm. Hopefully, that's kind of what this is leading up to. They said that they will be tweeting more units over the course of the next couple of days. So we'll have to wait and see. But let's move on and talk about IPL Season 3 Finals, which will be going down Thursday through Sunday. And they actually just released the groups. And really, besides going through all of them one by one, since White Raw is here, I do want to talk about Group 4. You have OGS, STC, MMA, and IDRA in them.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that group? Looking at the other groups, that's probably one of the scariest ones. What's up?
Zerk, it's okay. Idra have very good shape, but Zerk it's better now after new patch. Immortals a little bit better, and Fungals not make so big damage. And plus Zerk now not easy steal you Colossus because range not so big. But I think my main problem is the Korean Terran because Korean have many practice and they always using mass ghost in game. I have many game with Bomber and he showed me how perfect can working ghost. You can be ahead all games, but in main battle you almost always lost because 3 or 4 EMP all you Archons not have HP. And all units without shield and without energy, it's just very easy to beat your army.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we've actually, I think Jeff and Tyler, you guys both agree the Ghost needs a nerf, right? You were pretty critical when it wasn't nerfed in the patch, right? So not to steal or make words out of your
Well, it wouldn't be a
mouth.
state of the game without Protoss players saying that the Ghost needs some work.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to go with White Raw next. I mean,
And you know what? Now that White Raw said that,
maybe
we
it'll...
win. We win. You can't get mad at us now. White Raw said it, bitches.
Come on,
Game over. Good luck. Yeah.
yeah, but it's unit very cheap and make too big damage for any types of army. He very good with air units, with ground army, and he shooting and have snipering shot. Too many spell, have too many spell, and strong spell. And
Wow.
he steal energy from mothership. It's impossible. Mothership, it's high-tech units. It's like God of Protoss technology, and one small units using KMP and mothership without energy. It's nothing.
Yeah, pretty worthless for
White
sure.
Raw, I dare someone to say White Raw's wrong. Call him biased.
This is actually why White Raw is on the show, so
Yeah.
we could bring up
To validate.
be validation for all the other Protosses on the show.
Tyler
They
says,
figured it out.
Tyler doesn't know. Blah, blah. White Raw said they're like, yeah, guess.
We talk enough with Taylor about Terran, about balance, and we have same position, I think.
Well, okay, I'll play devil's advocate. I will be representative of the Terran players.
Oh god.
Recently in GSTL, we had a few Protoss players beating some Terrans.
Oh no.
It did occur post-patch, just saying. So maybe what's happening is now Terran is the weaker race, and in time we'll be bitching about that.
I like the hand motions, Jeff.
Fucking yeah, man. Fucking A. GSTL.
That
Maybe someone Terran lose when Protoss make timing push double immortal and some army from 3 or 4 gateway and easy kill Terran expand because Terran not have ghost in time. Maybe that's why they think Protoss.
Attack before they get ghosts. That's the only way.
That's what I got planned. Are you kidding me? I heard you can make 8 gateways off of 2 bases. Done.
Well, I think we do have to take a quick break, guys. Producer was signaling to me. When we come back, more IPL talk. We still got a ton to talk about, actually, about that tournament. And I will say, we're going to be asking a lot of questions to White Raw, but they're going to be coming from the community. So if you have a question that you want to ask White Raw, go ahead and tweet it at me at itmejp at twitter.com/itmejp. So we'll be right back, guys, with IPL talk. We'll see you then.
Okay, come back.
All right, guys, welcome back. We were going to talk about IPL 3, but since it is almost Sean's bedtime already, we got about 20 minutes left with him. I want to talk about actual strategy talk. It's something that Sean brought up last week, so let's going to have him bring it up once again. Sean, you're on the spot. What's our actual strategy talk this week?
Well, I noticed that we have a couple Protosses here.
Uh-huh.
So, of course, I'd want to ask, what is your go-to PvP opening and why? Because, I mean, in all the other matchups, there's like 1,000,001 openings, and more importantly, there's well-defined mid-games. Like, for instance, for Terran, I mean, it doesn't matter if you open, like, Double Hellion or just, like, straight Expand or open up, like, fast drops. You're probably going to transition into Marine Tank Medevac with a lot of upgrades. In PvP, though, I kind of feel like, just due to the prevalence of the 4-gate, there was not really a mid-game. You'd have really long early games where people were still one base versus one base when they mined out. But now all of a sudden we have the opportunity to go to 2 bases and to more bases. So I want to know what you think are reasonable openings, obviously that are not the 4-gate. I'm hoping to hear about. Maybe you still use the 4-gate. But also like what your general mid-game goal is, your structure, your composition, that sort of thing. Because I've seen wildly different stuff out of, well, 3 of you. I've never seen Arctosis play.
Well, I think
In
that
1.4.
the Blink Stalker Observer one that was becoming really popular before the patch, that build that like Huck was using a lot and stuff like that, I think variations of that are still really good. I think that, for me, might be the most stable like opener. It does not actually die to anything. It's safe against Phoenix. It's safe against Colossus for anyone that goes Colossus still. It's safe against any of that silly Immortal shuttle play because you have Blink. I like that one. Personally, I don't use it all the time, but in my brain it computes as...
Which build? The macro Blink Stalker?
The Blink Stalker Observer build.
Yeah.
But I've made some tweaks to it the way I do it. I normally only get 2 gates within Expand after I get my Observer out. But it seems really safe, and you can transition into pretty much anything with it. So, I don't know. I like that build just as like a catch-all.
I do that 9 times out of 10, basically, in PvP.
Yeah.
It got a big boost because if they go like heavy Colossus, I mean, it didn't necessarily get a big boost, but the Colossus got mitigated to a certain extent. So you're still seeing Robotechs, but it's mostly like Immortal, then Colossus, so they're delaying the Colossus, whereas in the past it was like immediately go into Colossus because that's what they assumed the other guy was doing. But then also with the resurgence of the Phoenix play that's going on right now, it's not a bad place to be. I will say this, the 1-1-1, people are calling it for Protoss, which is Robo Stargate gateways. So you make a lot of gateway units and then you pump out Immortals with a basis of like 5, maybe 6 Phoenix, is ridiculously strong. And it's really actually hard to attack it with the macro, I call it macro, but what you're talking about is the Observer Stalker build. So just be aware of that. I don't know if you guys have tested that out as much because it's that like clash of builds is kind of going on right now, but it's actually really, really difficult if you are facing the 1-on-1.
The Phoenix is just coming up now, though.
Weirdly good.
Well, they dice up the Zealots, and then if you have 2 or 3 Immortals against, I don't care how many Stalkers, it's ridiculous with that range 6 versus range 6. So when the Phoenix pick up everything light and dice them up in 2 seconds, and then they're left with naked Stalkers against Immortals, it's sick good. So you're basically best off transitioning out of it, which is why, to Dan's point, it's a good build still, because you're not committed. You don't have to keep going Blink Stalkers. It's a nice, like, whoa, you got to stay at your home, otherwise I'll blink in your base and kill you, while you're back at home transitioning to other things like Charge Lot, Archon, or Colossus even.
I'm actually curious, Tyler, because you, in the early beta days and right at the start of release, you were doing a 2-gate Phoenix build. Have you experimented with that post-patch?
Yeah, I think it's strong. I think the resurgence makes sense because of the Immortal buff, and we're seeing some more Immortals now, and the Blink play is so common with Observer, and Blink research got nerfed. It takes longer, so the real weakness of that build was getting hit with Blink before you could deal with it, and that's pretty much gone, partly because of metagame, partly because of just straight-up changes. So...
Hey, sorry. Not you.
Oh. Yeah, so I think it's a strong build, and its main weakness is now pretty much gone. So I think it deserves a lot more attention now, and people are giving it, not just me, a lot of people.
So White Raw actually went and got some water. Did you talk about your PvP openers?
I like a safe build like free gateway and robo because it's can stop for gate push if you make block pylon and two gateway near you entrance on base, and it save you from DT rush, and you can make choice building fast expand or transition to colossus or stalkers and blink. So I think it's safe build and pretty good.
What about?
I'm wondering. I have a question for the Protoss. If you both go 3-gate robo, and one of you gets an observer and gets blink, and the other one mainly builds stalkers, but then instead of getting blink, they get like 2 immortals. Who's better off in this situation?
I think immortals better, but it depends about micro. How big damage you make your enemy. Maybe if he leave base, you can blink on his base and kill some important building pylons. And same time, if you lose some extra stalkers, you lose more. So it's only about micro, I think. You just always not give relax you enemy. He always carrying leave base, and if he leave base, you immediately make blink on his main and make a lot of damage. And same time you can make expand and just massing more units and transition to stalkers to zealots and speed. So it's can work good, but of course it depends how big damage you make your enemy and how not lost your stalkers.
Now, while you're here, White Ron, we're on the topic of or the discussion of strategy. I want to get your thoughts on both PVT and PVZ. I think everyone else has kind of stated their thoughts in past episodes, but for you, what do you think of those two matchups?
I think PVZ you need make fast expansion after Forge, because if you opening free gateway expand, there can make early third base, and you very behind in economic. And after you choice, make 7 gateway +1 push and some void race, or transition to Colossus, or take third base. So it depends about maps, about your enemy, how his have style, macro style, aggressive style, or safe style. You just choose a better decision and better way with, for example, if play Chef, he like macro game, and Dimaga like macro game, you can make timing push, and if they build more than, for example, 65 drones, you push work. But if they make 50 and between 50 and 55 drones, and not stop massing drones starting build units, only on this way they can stop you push. So it's always hard there to understand Protoss won't make this push, or Protoss try play macro. About PvT, I think free gateway and Nexus, it's very good, because you can stop 2 racks aggressive push Terran, and if he transition to fast bench, you can get observer in time. If you building only 1 zealots, 1 stalkers, it would double sentry, and after robo, you get observer same time when Banshee coming in your base.
Tyler, I don't know if you told me this, you might have told Artosis, and then he said this during a cast, but he was saying that Forge Fast Expand is something that you really actually hate doing. Can you kind of expand on that? Because I've asked Artosis why, he explained it, but those were from his mouth, not yours. Just want to get your own thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, it's just scary how much the Zerg can drone. I think on some maps, the Zerg can easily get their third base up and get a good amount of drones, and then just defend whatever timing attack the Protoss does. It feels a lot easier for me to put together pressure and little bits of harass and attacks when I'm operating off 1 base and transitioning into 2 base, rather than starting at 2 base and the Zerg starting at 3 base pretty much. So I just see more opportunities starting with 1 base play. The Zerg can't just drone crazily, and you have more opportunities for a greater variety of strategies to threaten them with, whereas with the Forge Fast Expand, it simplifies things for the Zergs a lot, and they can usually scout what you're going to do with Overlords, and it's hard. It's much easier with 1 base opening to be a little more mysterious to the Zerg, and they have to respect your possibilities a little more.
Sean, what do you think about that?
I'm honestly kind of torn. I mean, I feel like one thing that kind of is really painful about like the 1 gate styles, like 1 gate, 1 base, is just that you have to really do a lot of damage, and to be totally sycophantic, I think if there's one player who could pull it off, it'd be Tyler, because I still remember your 2-gate style PVZ, where like literally I think maybe above like B+ level there was like 3 people who 2-gated. It was like one Protoss, like who's the player from Samsung Con Eros TT, like he 2-gated occasionally.
Yeah.
I'm still locked up on sycophantic. Jesus Christ, you blew my mind. Such a fucking good word.
It's a great word. I figure I may as well get an 800 on my SAT state of the game before signing out.
It's true. It's true.
But like, I mean, what sucks about going for like, okay, what's really nice about going for a macro style play is that doing nothing and sitting on your ass is correct in most circumstances. Like right when your gateway finishes and you finish Zealot and you've really expanded, good. Build more probes and just keep sitting on your ass. And a lot of people will incidentally make that decision because, as it turns out, that is also not making a decision. If I'm just sitting there going, what do? I can actually be making the right decision of not doing anything for the next 3 minutes. But what is so hard about 1 gate plays and to expand is that you must attack a lot. And there are a lot of situations where it is, well, should I attack or should I stay at home? It's a really hard question to answer. Again, if you get 1 Zealot, 1 Sentry up after you've early expanded, it's clear. It's a clearly correct decision. So it's a lot murkier waters with 1 gate. And that's personally why I steer towards early expanding, is because it just feels a lot less murky, because sitting around can be so much better. Or sitting around is correct so much more often that the decisions are more clear in a lot of circumstances. I definitely think there's validity to both of them, because, for instance, at the Red Bull land, Tyler, you doing that like 1 gate style that Chef recommended was, or 1 Stargate style, was really cool and did a lot of weird, funky things and put you in like not just a good situation, but also a very unique situation, a pretty damn fun one. So I think there's a lot of juiciness there, and I think one
gate like above ramp, just 2 gas style that people were doing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like all the various 1 gate, 1 base styles. When I said 1 gate there, I meant the 1 Stargate, 1 base style that Tyler was working on.
Oh, PVZ, and then you just like 1 gate expand the MC build.
Yeah.
You get 2 gateways. You end up getting 2 gateways and 2 void rays. Expand.
You go 1 gate, Stargate, gateway, expand much later. See.
The goal of that build really is to put the Zerg in a very difficult spot to defend their 3rd, because after you expand, you get some gateways up and you get a nice gateway unit composition that you follow up after you've been doing some harass with the Void Ray. And basically the Zerg is in a position where either they can't drone all the way and get fully saturated, or they can't hold their 3rd base. They can't have it all. You basically deny them full saturation right away, or you deny them getting a 3rd base. So you have a nice period of time where it's 2 base versus 2 base, and you also have, really perfect scouting with your Stargate units. You have a nice gateway composition. You can kind of do anything you want from there. So that's why I like it. It feels very flexible to me, and it gives so many opportunities for the Zerg player to make a mistake, because that's like the huge drawback of playing passively and doing the macro style is you can never force a mistake like that. So I really like discovering a build where you're constantly in their face pretty much.
You know, I agreed with Tyler previous to this patch on that. I hated the patch we were just on for Forge expansion builds because, like, the only thing that you could really do solidly was, like, a Void Ray and then Phoenixes, and that is, like, a garbage build, man. I don't care what anyone says. The Zerg has to be caught off guard. He has to not know how to stop it to actually lose to it. And even when you get someone like Nanoa who, like, controls that so beautifully. You can't find someone that has better Void Ray Phoenix than Nanoa. And he'll kill like 10 Overlords somehow. Like, he'll do things I never thought possible with that. I'm like, Zerg looks defended, I don't know. And then Nanoa does a lot. And then still, it's like, that didn't really matter. It reminds me of like Wraith Rushes in StarCraft 1 against Zerg, where you can kill 5 Overlords and then it like actually just doesn't even matter. You're even or something. So I agreed previous to this patch, but with this new patch, I feel like there's a lot more options that need to be explored with the Forge expand. I think it's going to be better than in the last patch, but last patch, I think Tyler's outlook was completely correct.
Well, what changes in this new patch do you think are...
I think that the overall power of the Infestor going down a little bit makes actually a huge difference. That's a big part of why 7-gate timings kind of disappeared in the last patch. 7-gates were becoming really popular right before that patch. If you look back, for instance, one of my favorite builds in the whole world, any pro against July Zerg, with his 7-gate with 1-1 and obs, like, just that extra damage, believe it or not, I mean, that actually just changes it. It just, I've done testing and it just looks to me like Infestor's not as good a choice as it was. And it just, the whole game feels a little bit different right now. And I think it's enough that it's like, it has to be looked at again. I don't know if it'll stay like that, but with the new patch, I'm not just going to go ahead and say that it's exactly the same as before. But I hate the fast Forge expansion into Void Ray builds. I think those are terrible.
Jeff or White Raw, you guys have anything to add before we wrap this up?
No, it's good.
White Raw, you good?
Yeah, all depends about map and the start position. So you can choose build order for this. If far position, of course, better transition to macro game and try to make some harass there, maybe Phoenix harass or drop. I like using now War Prism drop, and same time make third base. If close position, pretty good can work timing push. Any build order like free gateway X or after X 6 or 7 gateway.
Well, Sean, it's that time. You got anything you want to say before we take this break and you say farewell?
I will say that, like, I really think that War Prisms, even though they're being used a lot, are still underused. There's some incredible shit that you can do with them. I mean, I just want to throw out to every Protoss who plays games against Terrans who do the no gas early expand. I just would say try getting a Warp Prism and loading like 2 to 3 Zealots into it and just dropping his mineral line. Like right when he does that. Just go for it, like expand, do that, and then just drop. You'll be amazed how much more control you have. Yeah. And it was really incredible to see like Elfie versus Idra. Elfie just warping in the main. He didn't get a force field at the ramp. He didn't get any huge positional advantage. It's just the fact that he was warping in at a pretty decent spot was tremendous, and I really think that that's going to be the big future, is people having like 2-3 warp prisms floating around the map just as like a standard thing to do, and having a ridiculous amount of gateways. So with that, guys, thank you. Follow me on Twitter, Day9TV. Go to www.day9.tv for all my stuff. And I'm really sleepy, so I'm going to go to bed.
Well, we'll see you not next Tuesday, but next Friday, and we'll explain why later on in the show. But Sean, thank you for coming on. Guys, quick commercial break so we can rearrange the cameras and get everything set up, and then we'll be coming back and talking about IPL3, I promise. So don't go anywhere. Be right back, guys.
Are we off?
Thanks, guys.
There is the 256-person double elimination qualifiers at the venue. Jeff, that's what you'll be playing through, correct?
Yeah.
Tyler, are you going to this event? Correct. Okay, so just Jeff will be playing in that. And then there's the 4 groups of 4, which have 2 invitees from the that were just invited, and then 2 from the online qualifiers. And that's going to determine seeds for the championship brackets. So those 16 players are already guaranteed championship bracket spots, I think.
$1,000.
Are they being seeded like 1 through 16 and that's it?
I guess so. Yeah.
That's like... that's,
well, if there's an IPL representative listening, please feel free to message me on Skype to clarify. But from what I'm reading right now on TeamLiquid.net, yes.
If they just take the top 16 of the tournament, those players aren't seeded, so the seeds don't actually mean very much at all. It's like they mean very little.
Well, that's true.
That's like not worth playing groups if that's what that does. It's like actually just kind of silly.
I don't know, man.
I'm sure we don't have it understood, to be honest with you.
I mean, this is just coming from the format.
Let's not spend too much time.
Let's not. Let's talk about the actual event.
Yeah.
We got Group 4 from White Raw and his thoughts on that. Did I link you guys to the groups, by the way, Artosis? Did you get this?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God, because I didn't want to do that again. Just Group 1 through 3, just general thoughts real quick. We don't have to go through each one for a long period of time, but...
Group 1, I think Alive is going to kick some ass in that. He's going to have a breakout pretty soon. I keep on hearing him talked about all over the place, because like in practice, he's one of the scariest players in Korea right now. So I think he'll do a good job.
What about Stefano? I mean, that's someone that the community has kind of held up to high regard.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess he's probably pretty good. I haven't really seen enough Stefano games to say, but no matter how good he is, he's going to have a pretty hard time against Alive because Stefano does not play in Korea. So that just gives Alive a little edge, you know?
Well, it's the offline effect, too. I mean, one of the things... I'm a fan of Stefano. He's playing like a different style of Zerg. It's really, really cool. But one of the big criticism of him so far is that his offline results aren't matching up with his online ones. So I hope this is his breakout term. I'd love it if he slayed these Koreans because they're actually within his grasp. He beat MMA for God's sakes. Am I remembering that correctly?
I think so.
It was MMA, and then I'm pretty sure he beat a couple other of these guys. He can beat Boxer. He can beat an Alive, you know, and I hope he does. That'd be pretty freaking amazing for esports.
Oh, I would love to have a foreigner just crush some face. That would be nice.
But Huck, too. Huck versus Stefano is going to be really exciting. Stefano plays like a really different style just across the board. It's a ZVT that gets him a lot of notoriety. He actually like only makes lings in some cases. Literally. Only makes lings. But I've seen him do it against Protoss as well, so it'll be kind of fun. And then Huck against those Terrans. Alive's had some pretty good results, but... And you know what? I was about to say, but Boxer? No. Fuck it. Boxer's going to do amazing. Never down that guy again at a foreigner tournament. Never again.
Well, he's not going to do well if you predict him to. You have to actually... Everyone has to doubt him collectively for a couple months, and then he kicks some ass.
Oh, okay. So I'm safe?
You're safe to be like, he's not going to do well at this event.
I think Boxer finishes third in this group or fourth.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
So... This is kind of funny. We have clarification from Slasher.
That can't be good.
Yeah, it says, as he's been bitching about, the groups are only played to determine seeds 1 through 16 in the championship bracket before it starts, and to quote-unquote provide the fans more matches, end quote. This is what Josh told him.
Okay, that's fine then. I mean, as long as they acknowledge that that's going to be a largely for content rather than because the seeds 1 through 16 they matter a little, but
it's going to be a joke game.
With those invites, it doesn't matter at all. Yeah, that kind of sucks. That
I can't see them using their full strats.
Yeah, not a single person is going to use one of their real builds.
That sucks. Damn it.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm trying to find this video that Katz was putting up. White Raw, can you mute your mic?
There's gonna be the one try hard though. Watch it like watch like Sleep take the #1 seed, or Like...
Someone's gonna be mic in their probe, like
but
it's
you see
so fun.
Our groups have 2 Terran and only 1 Zerg and only 1 Protoss. I think it's very good because we not have groups like 4 Terran each group or 2 Protoss, 2 Zerg. It's like group all balance. But Terran...
but every group has 2 Terrans.
Yeah. But I mean, it's Terran have TVT, TVZ, and TVP, so it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, but that's the same for everyone.
Yeah, but Terran double more.
Double more?
Yeah.
All right.
Terran and 8 players.
Let's let's take a quick look, Mark. Let's take this PC real quick. This is a video that I'll try to mess with the volume that Cat's Pajamas put out earlier today of the. Why is it not playing? There we go. Of the venue for the tournament. Jeff, I hope you're watching this because I'm going to go straight to you after this and get your thoughts on it real quick.
I can even tell you what he's saying right now. And here we have some chairs. This will be where, and look at this. It is Jimmy John. He is commanding the station. And that's where I'll be casting from. And over there is some monitors and some StarCraft. That's what he was saying. I can't hear it, though.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. But what do you think of the venue? I mean, first off, my impressions of it.
That guy have a miner light on his head?
Yeah, he did. Well, because I think they keep it dark there so they could see what's going on. But first thoughts of
What?
what? I mean, so they could see what's going on.
My world is upside down, JP. I don't know what's happening.
Turn on the lights. Not for you, bitch. Put on your miner hat.
Oh, God. All right. Let's just act like this never happened because that's what I'm going to do. But first thoughts of the event, they have 3 monitors, 2 of them for player point of view, which we see right there. And then the middle one, I guess, for the commentator's point of view, which I'm obviously a little bit jealous about, man. I want that at MLG. Why is that not there, people at MLG? What do you guys do?
Wait, which part? Which part is
They
it?
have first-person cameras, I think, of both players on the left and right on their giant
That's not true. They have the UFO camera at MLG.
UFO camera.
Yeah, where each player looks like they're in a UFO because it's effing terrible.
Oh, that
Oh.
little webcam.
Oh,
yeah,
I see
Greg
what you're
looks
doing.
like an alien. And it looks like they're playing in a sauna. Because they are.
The other thing, too, is that IPL's booths are pretty big. Where was the shot of that? Maybe it was a picture. They're
be
huge,
awesome.
man. They're it looks like they have enough room to set up 2 cameras in there, and they're full-on cameras, full-on HD cameras. Let me see if I can
They
find
went
that.
the reverse NESL booths with no room at all.
NASL boots, man, those were pretty small.
They were terrifying. My heart leapt
my
so much
God.
when I.
You
I
know
was
what
like, what about 4th of July?
Yeah, no, that was the best part of NASL. was when-
July you can broken with booth.
It's a pretty useful little
That's
booth,
the
though,
part
man.
about NESL. Give me a break.
It's like pimp my booth. Exhibit will put a booth in your booth because you like booths.
Yeah, yeah.
I logged in
where-
yesterday and today in I see this place, and it's really pretty awesome. Here it's dark, you can see all details, but it's a very big place and very comfort for people who coming, and they make so very interesting show, like light show, and it's be like some TV show, you know, when showing some like it's say.
Like circus.
Like Broadway, no, like
Broadway?
show, Broadway show, you know,
Okay.
something like that. And we have booth for people, so it's not be daily. When play 2 players, second 2 players can preparing for next game using join hardware, check settings and rest. I think they work pretty good. I see how many staff inside. It's more than 50 people, I think. They preparing hard work, and I think they make really great job because it's first step and make this event into a huge casino, and it's many people who now play in casino very interested and know first time about StarCraft 2. It's many
So-
journalists got. Yeah, I think it's very good for community and for e-sport in total.
I got that last part. Good. My major concern is that they have fixed seating at that venue.
They
so
do. That's right.
if like 150 people show up for a place that seats 1,000, it'll look really, really bad.
I mean,
I
what,
hope it doesn't happen. I'm not trying to be a doom speaker.
Oh, there should be a lot of people there.
I
You
mean,
know,
hope they
that's
fill
a
it
pretty
up.
populous area. It's near New
well,
York.
the
and
thing
everything.
also, Artosis, I mean, no one under, is it 18 or 21 can enter the premises?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, they'll have that going
Well-
against them. But I think it's going to fill up. I hope that it fills up.
Yeah.
I do
think
too.
so.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
trying
think
to
we
say
all
that
do.
it's
Yeah,
wrong.
we're
I'm
not
just
we're
trying
not
to say
saying
that if
Jeff's
that-
actually just like the one going against
You have to be
esports.
careful about that shit, man.
I know. That's why I'm clarifying.
Jesus
That's why I'm
Christ.
clarifying.
Heard you said the IPL's not going to sell out. Yeah, fucking, I'm coming for you. It's like,
The other thing that have they said the player area is in a different area? Is that correct? Have you seen it where the open tournament's going to be taking place?
Yes, it's different, but I not see play area. But I know we have a lot of computer here, and I comment tomorrow only and watching quiz. It's not interest for me because I not play this open event.
Yeah.
I play already
Yeah.
in I know. So that's why I not comment today. Or yes, tomorrow I come because some friends, my friends comment and they play this tournament and we together walking and see how it looks.
Jeff, have you heard anything from Scoots about the player area for the open bracket?
no, I mean, he's been tweeting pictures. It's mostly that stage, but I haven't talked to him directly. He's busy setting up scootsy things. And I mean, what we get email-wise, there's people designated to the playing areas.
Okay.
And like their sole job is to make sure that we're all comfortable and know where we're supposed to go. I guess there's two different playing venues. There's the open bracket area, and then there's the like what we're seeing there, which is the main stage, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So there's gonna be a little bit of foot traffic going on there, and hopefully no nerd wanders away or White Rod doesn't get mobbed for autographs. And then
Well, can't people that bought the biggest ticket go back there anyways? And
They can for the Diamond Pass, was it? Unless this has changed, I think you are right. They can go back and visit with the players in the Pro Player Lounge or whatever they're calling it at the event. So
that'll be interesting.
yeah, we'll have to see how that plans out. I think we talked about that before when they first announced it. But just final thoughts on this tournament, Artosis. What do you? I mean, you're obviously going to watch this weekend. Are
Yeah.
you? Just what are your thoughts going into it before I even put any words in your mouth?
I think it'll be really good once we have a bracket. I don't know how interested I'll be in the group stage. Just if that's exactly what it is, like a seed 1 through 16 against open players. It's like, well, I don't know, man.
I think that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably not exactly what it is. I wouldn't trust Slasher there completely. But
Oh no. I mean, I think if Slash is correct, I think it's a mistake to make that choice by IPL.
Yeah. So, I mean, once it actually comes into a bracket, I think it's going to kick ass. I love bracketed tournaments, and I'll definitely be watching from that point. I don't know how much I'll watch of the group stage though, unless I get verification that it's something that matters a bit more than that. Like people going in the round of 16 or something, then people will play their asses off.
Yeah. Switch it up here before we get to In Control, and White Rocks will obviously be there. Tyler, you'll be watching this weekend, of course. I mean, what are you really looking for out of IPL 3?
I just like watching good games. I like people playing better than they've ever played before. I just want to see the best StarCraft 2. Of course, I'll probably be cheering for the non-Koreans a bit. But other than that, cheer my teammates and just hope everyone plays well.
Jeff, you're obviously going in there in the open bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you look to do well there as well. But for you, kind of what are you looking for out of IPL 3?
I've been a long time speaker. I mean, even earlier when we were talking about the Red Bull land, I didn't get to say this, but Monster is obviously a big sponsor of me, but I welcome competition. I think that's a really good thing for everybody involved, including those being competed with. So from Monster to Red Bull, that makes me excited. I hope Red Bull pours their pockets open and starts sponsoring teams and starts making this game bigger and better. And the same thing goes here. I'm an MLG fanboy, not necessarily because of State of the Game, but because it's been the first tournament to kind of embrace the StarCraft 2 community and make it their big flagship game, if you will, and they've got my loyalty for that. So while I have that loyalty and respect for MLG, I hope IPL drops bombs, man. I hope they blow it up. I hope everyone.
I think everyone at MLG kind of says the same thing. Like, if they go on there and put on the best show in the world, then we have something that we need to work on.
MLG has to step it up,
yeah,
and that's what I want. That's in that kind of arms race. I'm for it, man. I hope so. So that's my community member cap. For me personally, going into this, I've been working really hard. We've been all reading Mind Gym, which I've talked about on various shows, kind of working on the mental aspect of the game. I'm trying to stay positive, focusing on winning and doing better, and that's what I'm going in here to do.
And last but not least, White Raw, what does IPL3 mean to you?
It's really great event, and I think it's big steps in future for esport, because it's first time when we see this great event and huge prize pool. It's in casino. Of course, many journalists coming here, many people who play here, like just poker players and rest people. They just meeting with players and know more about esport and can see what it's not just game, it's more than game. It's like coming and coming for bigger and bigger. You see, many players who play top 16 IPL pay for flight tickets, hotel, food, and rest. And at the same time, they have huge prize pool, 100,000. And I like it because if you lose any games, you take minimum 1,000 USD. If you won one game, you make double prize pool. So I think all players deserve get some money. And it's very great system for because nobody not get without money, and of course I look forward in future. And no, a company like Playham take part in IPL3 and make some show match for community, and I know we make some show, and it's be very great because I know we preparing very hard and make so many surprise for people who coming.
Well, IPL3 will be kicking off. Jeff, what time does the tournament start on Thursday? Because I would assume that's when it's going to kick off. It doesn't say
I believe
it
it's
here.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, so Thursday, I'm not sure what time. Just go over to ign.com/IPL. They're going to have 6 streams, apparently. The main stage stream, the pool play, we'll be showing pool play on Thursday and Friday. Then, of course, the championship bracket on Saturday and Sunday. The second stream will feature games live from the open bracket on Thursday and Friday. And then that'll show the League of Legends tournament on Saturday and Sunday. Then they're going to have player vision from both players on the main stage as well as on the qualifier stage. And then 2 roaming backpack cameras at, I think, at the main stage as well as the player pit area. So if that's all up and running, I mean, I think that's already for MLG. I think we got a lot to really catch up to. But we'll have to see how that really all pans out. So tune in IGN Season 3 Finals this weekend. Should be a lot of fun. I know a lot of the MLG guys are going out there. Jeff will obviously be there, so make sure you say hi to him. And then, yeah, should be a lot of fun. We'll definitely tune into that. But let's talk about Sundance tweeted the other day, MLG being on ESPN2. And I guess what I'm looking for here are the negatives of that. Obviously, the positives of that are pretty, understood. But Jeff, I'm going to go straight to you for this because I think that you'll probably be able to find the negatives more so than everyone else. Not saying anything about you. I know how that sounds, but what are your thoughts on that?
I actually work pretty closely with DJ Wheat on a lot of different projects, and I've gotten to hear his opinion on this pretty passionately. In fact, this subject came up on Team Liquid. I don't know how to do the digging to find it, but he actually gave a really long-winded response to StarCraft 2 on television, but more the larger image, I guess, is esports on television, so a lot of games.
Yeah.
And the major concerns are the game gets chopped down and broken down and distilled into its most absolute basic form, which alienates the actual qualities of the game from the viewership. So people get access to it, and maybe we get that fan, and maybe they then go out and pursue more information. But at the same time, it also bastardizes a lot of what the game is. So, like, can you imagine a commercial break in the middle of a PVT? Like, at what point does that happen? So is the game not played live then? And if it's not played live, then people have problems with that. If you're getting it to a wider audience, you have to explain it in its most absolute basic form. Think of, like, Day 9 on crack cocaine with basic instruction. Like, it would be off the hooks in that sense. So I hope people understand that we're implying the positives, because I myself...
Yeah.
actually want this and think it would be an overall good thing, but there are dangers, there are fears, and DJ Wheat feels very strongly that he would think it would be more harm than good if it were to go on, if they were to chop up the game and make it different.
Yeah. Artosis or Tyler, even Myra, do you guys have any thoughts on this?
I think it's unbelievably positive. It's hard for me to find any negatives. I totally understand what DJ Wheat mentioned, what Jeff just said. I get that, but if you look at like poker, for instance, was it good or bad for the poker community that poker went on television, got dumbed down? Well, it was unbelievably, infinitely good for them. So if we could do something like that, World Series of Poker, whatever, those shows, they have little clips where they're showing you the basics every episode. And the commentary from the people commentating poker wasn't dumbed down all that much. But, it's a different game. They had to chop it up. It's maybe a little bit better for TV. But just like showing some basics, like here are your minerals. The workers mine from it. You have to secure more and stuff. Like in the little in-between parts, maybe something like that would work. And I think it would be completely awesome to go forward with that. And I think that, it could gain us a lot of StarCraft fans. Just start them off easy with something like that, and then they can get a little bit more into it and find more of it online.
I'm kind of ignorant towards the whole poker scene pre-TV, but did they have, were there streams of poker tournaments of the
There was like nothing, man. There was nothing before that WPT show or whatever it was, that first one on like Travel Channel or something.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell Texas Hold'em was, but then everyone in the world started playing. Like everyone. They're just like, wow, this is a great game. And it is. It's a fun game. It's a cool game. But StarCraft's way better. So if we do something like that, why won't we get a gigantic influx? Why won't so many people be like, oh my God, this is a great way to spend my time. It doesn't cost money like poker. It costs like $60 one time if I have a computer. And there you go.
I think one thing that has to be addressed in this debate too would be, with poker, the stigma, or I guess like the image surrounding poker is men around a table, drinks, really manly, really awesome. This is what you do if you're a cowboy or if you're a gangster. It has that like sex appeal to it, I suppose. But StarCraft in gaming on the larger whole, the stigma, the image around that is it's a bunch of people that sit in a chair and play a video game that my kids play. But that's
something we could fix that though, because if you actually look at some of these top players, like let's take a look at who we have here. White Raw is the greatest human ever to have lived. JP's a great host. Jeff, you're like a power lifter and an athlete and a debating guy. And then we have Tyler, who's like an old track star. And then we have me, like the coolest, smartest, funniest, handsomest, tallest guy in the whole world. So, we are actually cool people in the StarCraft community. There are so many well-spoken, nice, handsome, intelligent people. And I think that if they chose the content correctly and the people correctly, this is something that can absolutely be marketed.
Well, first and foremost, just know that I agree with you. I'm playing devil's advocate, so we can have a conversation here. But I understand that, and we know that. And certainly, if it were to go to the larger audience, some people would be extremely impressed with the characters within our community. But what I'm trying to say is, I feel one of the fears is that if ESPN were to take on this project, in order to make it realistic for the audience, like they wouldn't introduce Tyler as like former track star, super hot. Like,
I know.
They wouldn't do that. I'm just saying, because they have to make it believable to their audience. They would poke fun. They would do the teasy skit thing and make us look weird and awkward.
No, because if let's say that it went on to ESPN2, right? I think MLG would be running that and making this product for them. Okay, I can't imagine like ESPN just does it themselves, and I think that would be retarded if they did, because they don't know anything about us. But guess what? We as a community, the people at MLG, stuff like that, whoever's going to be in charge of this, they know things like this, like that. Look at Tyler's amazing story. This track running superstar. He lived in Korea for a while, and now he's back here and he's training hard and all this. And look at Jeff. He almost has weightlifting records, and now he's a great Protoss and like this personality on a very popular show. And that's the way it has to be done. If you're just gonna poke and make fun of them, then fuck that. I don't want it on ESPN then. But if you're gonna do it the right way, then yeah, let's do it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be a very big task, because they would have to make personal stories so that people would, because at first glance they would look at some of us and be like, well, that person probably works at McDonald's while they're not getting this amazing cameo appearance on ESPN2 at 12 a.m. You know what I mean? So if they were to do the whole package and make it a attractive thing, which which I think would be a challenge on ESPN. Do they want to make video games attractive to people that are typically watching? Yes, paintball. Yes, women's softball, but also football, also baseball. They're getting the panelist discussion on college football for that night. Like, it's a very macho, physically athletic-minded channel. For them to take that shift and go to video games, I'm very worried that they would take some angles on that.
Well, I don't know. I think that it just has to be like MLG in charge of it or something. To think that this new show will like take viewers away from their other shows or something, I don't really get that. I mean, as long as they have their viewers in some way, should be fine.
Tyler or Whiteraw, you guys have any thoughts on the MLG
I'll be right back.
ESPN? Yeah.
I think it's StarCraft 2 more interest watching than poker, and it's more interest, more beautiful game and more entertaining.
So you think it could work on say ESPN then?
Yeah, of course. If it's take care about people who have experience in television work and people who understand e-sport and game, and it's be very good because they join each other and can make great job. Of course, if people starting to make program who not understand what happened in cybersport, how it's starting, what kind of players now, team, events. Of course, it's be, I think, a very bad commercial for esport. It's make people and need to find very professional people for it.
Yeah. Tyler, any quick thoughts?
I mean, mainly I agree with Artosis. I think if ESPN respects the players and tries to show the best of them and elevates them rather than bring them down as people, then it would work really well and it would be great. Even if they dumb down the game a ton, I mean, everyone thinks so highly of themselves, but let me tell you, like, no one watches the game on the level of like pros. So the game's already dumbed down for mass consumption.
That's true, man.
Like,
that is actually so true.
Like, yeah, I mean, everyone is already watching it just on very basic levels. And I mean, it's cool. I'm not like saying that's bad. I think it's fine. I like pretty much everything I enjoy outside of StarCraft, I enjoy on that level. So it's not like I'm, putting myself above that. That's just the way it goes. That's the way like mass consumption of anything is. So we're already kind of doing that. It could get worse, and the people that are at a higher level are probably going to look down on it. But that's fine. We can survive that. I just think it would be good exposure as long as ESPN respects us.
And
go ahead, Jeff.
I was just gonna. I don't want to be the guy that people are like, "What does devil's advocate mean?" It must, And I want to take my hat off. It would be reaching more people. It absolutely would, and it's a new opportunity. And I think if StarCraft 2 has proven anything thus far, it's that when given a limit to break, it'll break that limit, and when given an expectation, it will exceed it. Yeah. I know that we're very critical at all times on the show, for the most part, but one thing I think we would unanimously agree is that StarCraft 2 is shot above and beyond any of our expectations. And I'm all for giving new challenges to this game that we love so much and saying, let's see how you do on ESPN. In the past, CGS, Halo, those things didn't do so hot. How about StarCraft 2? And that's my horse, man. I think it could do it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that MLG is doing a better job. Let's just pretend, for the sake of argument, that MLG would be making the show for them. They're doing such a better job than something like CGS. Okay, like if you actually look at CGS, that did not stay true to anything. We could stay true to a lot of things. Like CGS, it was like all these bad games in a weird format. I personally didn't really enjoy the show. I'm a huge fan of esports and all the sorts of games and everything. But StarCraft 2 has gone so far beyond all this. And we are such a group of badasses. If you look at everyone's story, even if there's a guy, like you said before, that works at McDonald's, this guy is grinding at McDonald's to follow his dream. And if there's going to be like some like random football fan on ESPN2 that switches the channel to ESPN1 because he doesn't want to hear about this guy who's actually following his dreams instead of talking about, his knee injury in 11th grade where he was almost on the starting team of the football team or something, and now he's drinking beers and having a cookout and just being an asshole. I don't really care, man. We can lose that guy. But just getting this out to more people like poker did, I thought this for a long time. It's like poker got so unbelievably huge because of going on the air. So why not give StarCraft that shot? It's the best game that there has ever been. It's the hardest game. It's like people watch all sorts of stuff, man. Like they watch chess and they watch lumberjack games and stuff, and like StarCraft's just better than all this. So if it's packaged correctly and the actual stories are shown of everyone, then what the hell? This thing can be on TV, absolutely.
That's true. I think that's a good point to end that on. So guys, quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about 4GG and taking those questions. Twitter.com/HitmanGP to go ahead and ask them, but we'll be right back first.
I'm down. Nice guy, I'm with you.
I'm sorry to hear that, Dan. We're live, though. So I hope no one listened to that. But anyways, let's talk about 4GG coming back to StarCraft 2 briefly, because, I mean, this kind of happens every now and then, but I figured he's maybe a big enough figure to spend some time discussing. Artosis, or I guess any one of you could really give me a quick background on why he is kind of an important figure now transitioning over into StarCraft 2.
Well, I mean, he has won a Star League in StarCraft 1, but it was like one of the least notable wins that we've ever had for Star Leagues. It was not like...
You're pulling a slasher.
People were not like, oh, 4GG's going to take this, he's so good. He had like a few really crisp timings, if I recall the games correctly, TVZ, which ended up bringing him victory. I think he killed Jadon like 3-1 in the finals. Am I like completely off here? And it was like really sharp play. He hit his timings just right, and he won a Star League, but he's not like as exciting as some of these other players. Like for a long time he was better than MVP, but then MVP like became a macro Terran, and like MVP's better. 4GG will never ever be better than MVP unless MVP stops playing. Like I can't see it. So it's cool that he came, but he's less exciting than I think a lot of people are making out to be.
Yeah. Jeff or Tyler, you guys, or Whitewall, you guys have any thoughts?
It's just cool. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a.
It's not the second coming of some kind of Jesus Terran or something like that, but he has like 2 or 3 accounts in the top 10 of the Korean ladder already, and they have pretty sick win rates. He's very dedicated. He comes from that old school Brood War background where they are monsters. They'll sit down and play forever, and they will work things out, and they are very good mechanically. So I think at the end of the day, StarCraft 2 gains a player that's going to raise the professional level, and there's more storyline and there's things to talk about, and he just makes the game more exciting. So on that level, I'm really excited. But it's not like it's Jadong switching or Flash or something. You know, I'm not crying tears of blood and stuff yet.
Tyler, any thoughts?
No, my colleagues wrapped it up pretty well.
All right, White Rod, do you have any thoughts on 4GG coming to StarCraft 2?
Yeah, I agree, of course.
Yeah. So I didn't think there was going to be too much of a talking point there, but did have to bring it up.
And everyone's like screaming about the list of players you beat. Yeah, you have to beat good players to go through a Star League. It's true, but like, it wasn't the same. I don't know if you guys watched it, but it was not the same when he won as when someone like Flash wins. And it's just like domination and godliness, and it keeps happening. It's just like this one-time Star League winner. He's good, and he'll be good, and he'll get into GSL and he'll beat Code S. But I will always be more excited to see MVP play, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's time for community questions, guys. Primarily, they will be for White Raw, since he is our special guest today. But if you have questions for the rest of the cast, go ahead and tweet them at twitter.com/HitmanJP. First one is from Rio Nozo. White Raw, who do you think the top 5 Protoss in Korea are?
It's very hard to say. I think still MC, but he not show a good game.
Who?
MC.
MC.
But he not. Yeah, MC. Squirtle. I know, not bad.
Squirtle,
yeah.
Squirtle top 5?
Squirtle's pretty good in practice.
Yeah, but maybe he nervous when play. No, too many too many good Protoss. It's very hard to say. I'm not
That is
follow
Korea's
too
problem,
much
is the too many good
Korean,
Protoss players they have.
Yeah, it's. But we're not, of course, between Protoss very good. But now we're not show like high level skill. I don't know why. Of course, maybe because some a little bit weak Protoss, a little bit weak is race now. But maybe need to find another way how play in middle game or late game. So I'll change. I don't know. But still MC, I think he need just practice more.
Follow-up question for me. Did you happen to see the quote from Sage saying that he heard about your Warp Prism use and actually kind of didn't copy your build, but used it a lot because of you? It was inspired from you. And just what are your thoughts on that?
Warp Prism, I think it's very greatest units in StarCraft 2 because I like using Speed Shuttle in StarCraft 1. But Shuttle can bring only 2 units. Now Warp Prism can bring 1 units like Colossus or 4 units like DT or Zealots, and you can warp as much units as much you have war gates. And for example, if you enemy hold position on middle map, he spent a lot of time for back in main and stop you warp. So it's pretty good. And now after a new patch, Warp Prism work much more better because Queens not so quickly kill Warp Prism, and Zerg need to make some Mutalis, Hydra or Corruptors for kill these units.
Danny, okay down there?
Yeah.
From Dwayne Bunker, which Terran player scares you most of all?
Bomber.
Bomber, okay.
Bomber, yeah.
Who else is going to BlizzCon here? Artosis, you're going, right?
Yeah.
For the whole, because you're going to be there, Kess and GSL Finals. I'll be there. Jeff, you're going to be there?
I don't think so.
White Draw, are you going to make it out?
Yeah, I come in BlizzCon like guys, not like player, because Blizzard not invite me.
Okay, okay. Tyler, are you going to make it out?
Blizzard dropped the ball, White Raw.
I'll be there.
You'll be there?
So free not enough.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. Okay, I didn't know you were going. So let's see what else we got here. Should have pulled these out in the break.
We can talk about GSLs.
We could, but I mean, Jeff, did you watch? How much GSLs have you watched?
I watched the GSLs.
We'll go ahead and talk about them. I'll choose the next couple of questions.
Oh shit!
I'm down.
I'm sorry. I thought when you said you were looking up things, it wasn't questions. You were looking up next subject. I'm not trying to cut this off. Damn it!
Oh, okay. I see what you're
Please
saying.
continue to ask White Rock questions.
Yeah.
Good God. That would be like the most asshole thing ever. We could just move on.
From the God, he says, for Whitewall, who are your favorite practice partners, and how often do you get to do practice sessions with these individuals?
It's hard to say because it's always practice partner can change because it depends what weakness matchup you have. I think I like Bomber because he play a lot with me in Red Bull 1. Maybe in total we play 40 games on 3 days. Yeah. And in Europe it's Strelok, Dimaga. I think best practice partner.
From AIM Tofflin, he says, ask Whitewall, do you ever get angry after losing, and if so, what do you do to calm down?
You just need to understand what if you angry, it's not help you play better. So you just relax.
He doesn't get angry. I can vouch for this.
I've seen him angry.
You've seen White Raw angry? No,
Yes.
you haven't.
It's a White
the
Raw
story.
anger. It's not like... It's not real. I was watching your stream, and you played a gentleman by the name of Lelouch.
One time, yeah.
You know Lelouch.
Oh, I saw that too, actually. Okay,
yeah.
you're right.
What's up, historical reference?
That's true. He got angry once in 10 years.
He was like mid-game bitching at White Raw. Like, fucking, do you think you're good? You're Protoss.
No, I not say bad word. I just say if you.
No, this was Lelouch.
Yeah, flaming me again because he always spamming me don't matter. It's before game, after game, and write any bad words. But I just say him if he continue make it. I just talk with him in DreamHack or on Overland, and I'm not joking.
The Lush's heart is so black that he actually harassed White Raw. To put that in perspective for you guys.
Yeah, but you talk and
White Raw got a little peeved.
You're not bad moneying anymore.
What do you do to calm down, White Raw, when you do get upset?
I just don't think about this. If someone write bad rolls or something like that, I just understand it's children and or some people who need repair his brain. Because it's game. It's not like if you play a leather game, it's nothing important. It's just point.
Yes.
But for someone points, it's very, very important. It's like life. But it's just game. You need to understand. We all take fun when we play. Pro gamers make money for it. For Korean, I think it's style life. Show good game, and when we lose, we very disappointed and cry. But they never write any bad words. I think we need to teach it from Korean. Very mannership, and it's very good for community, for future sponsor, for game in total. Because if people who don't know about StarCraft, about the sports, any, and watching what in games some people write bad words, he just not watching it next time.
From I Am Nerd Swagger, what's your favorite alcoholic beverage, White Raw?
You mean drink?
Yeah.
I think it's a Germany beer.
Germany?
Okay. Oh, all right. That's the second time you've ever lied.
No.
Germany beer. He meant to say vodka.
Sometimes. Yes, but
He does seem to like vodka, man.
Yeah. Now we drink a lot of vodka in Korea. You remember Beluga?
Yeah, you brought me some, man. I was so thankful.
Vodka, gin, but now I'm more like fresh beer or wine. But beer better.
Beer is better. Wow. Jeff, question from someone that you might know over at Inside the Game from Goatlust. He wants to know what your favorite black metal album is.
Black metal?
Yeah.
Jesus. I don't think I really listen to black metal. I mean, I might secretively. I don't know. Whatever Sake likes.
Whatever Sake likes. Let's see what else we got here for some of these other people. To Artosis, how do you feel about the resurgence of biomech and TVT in the GSL?
It's all right for right now. I think it's too soon to say mech is gone. I think mech will come back as players get really super good. Marine Tank is like real mobile and pretty cool right now with the weakened Blue Flame Hellions, but I can't see it staying that way forever. I don't know. You can't really convince me that Marines are gonna beat mech units forever. It seems silly. So I'm fine with it. I think the matchup will continue to evolve, but I think it'll stagnate at this for a little bit because everyone's happy with it right now, it seems.
What did you guys think about the Chinese players at IEM? Kind of for everyone here.
I didn't watch every game at IEM, but the ones I did see was like they were using strats from 3 months ago. I was actually a little bit shocked because I've heard some good things about some of the Chinese players. I haven't seen much of their games at all, but the ones that I saw at this event, they were using really dated strats and they weren't even really executing them as well as I would have hoped. So I was a little bit sad about that.
What was
they were like
interesting?
cheap
Usually,
knockoffs. Is that what you're saying?
oh shit! Tyler.
Well, I don't even, should I just end the
I got
show on
nothing
that?
to
Like, Tyler just single-handedly like killed the show, man.
That's it.
That's
See you guys
it.
later.
That's it. We'll see you guys later. Tyler, one last question, actually.
Shout outs too.
Yeah, no, we're not done yet. I got one last question though. From Exodus now, he says, when are we going to see the Tyler vlog #2, and how soon?
Jesus.
Oh, Well, I was planning to announce something on it, and I haven't been able to figure it out yet, so I just keep delaying it. So I don't know.
Don't know? Okay.
I mean,
If you're calling off the challenge, I can do that for you. I'll make a vlog.
No, I'm not. Challenge is still on.
Challenge accepted.
All right, Toast, let's do some shout-outs so we can wrap the show up.
Okay. Please follow me on Twitter. I'm Artosis. I'm normally scared about linking people to sites on Say the Game because you crash them and destroy my life.
Go crash them.
But this one cannot be crashed. I've started a StarCraft blog at scdojo.com, so check that out.
Let me bring it up for you guys before it crashes so you can actually see what it looks like. scdojo.com.
It's not going to crash.
Go and take the capture of my screen, Mark, if you can. This is the website Dan's talking about.
People hitting it at once, like.
And now let's hit F5.
I
Hey,
crashed
it's still
Team
up.
Liquid when I announced the NASL thing, dude.
Well, this is Tumblr.com. I'm trying to think
Yeah,
who
it's-
actually.
It's pretty hard to stop. That's
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Pretty sick graphics, Dan.
Thank you. I made it completely myself.
Did you take a picture of that notepad thing? You have
Yeah, I wrote SC2 on my StarCraft notebook, and I took a picture of it as the picture for the site.
And
You like that?
oh god.
the background is Dan's walls.
Hey, it's still up. Still exists.
So, yeah.
Continue
that's,
on, Dan.
That's actually bad if we didn't crash it, because that means everyone's like, he's got a blog? Okay.
I'm just writing random StarCraft strategy type stuff, mostly Protoss related right now. So check it out if you'd like. That's all. Thanks.
It's still up. What are you guys doing, man? You lost your passion for esports. Jeff,
Dan
go ahead.
Orlando, by the way. You forgot to say that. You're going to be at Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
Come say
Orlando,
hi.
Con. It's going to be a sick time. Say hi to me.
You will be casting with HD. Tastosis couldn't make it all the way over there, so it'll be Artosis and
Putting the
HD.
GSL. I'm no longer casting with Tasteless anymore.
He's creating the
it's
ASL.
happening.
Artosis Starlink.
Starlink.
It's like you and Ghosty Terran and Naniwa. Big shout outs to my sponsors. Couldn't do it without them. Intel, Monster. Got one right here. Thank you very much. Steel Series, Kingston HyperX. Bigfoot Networks, Slappa. Gunner Optics. Son of a bitch.
Did you forget them all?
Inwin. Thank you all. They're all really, really freaking awesome. Some people have asked me, how do you contribute more to the community? As far as I'm concerned, we got a shirt out, the Kraken shirt or the EG jersey. I was really touched when I saw how many of them I saw at the last MLG. Please kind of keep that kind of stuff up. But also, if you need new computer hardware and you want to support some teams to support esports, grab yourself some Kingston memory, Intel, that kind of stuff, and then shoot them an email and say, hey, I'm doing this because you support EG or something like that. And that actually goes a long ways. I will be at IPL tweeting about my experience. You can count on me if there's not enough chairs there. That I will make sure that they know there's not enough chairs there. I will unbiased about that shit. If there's not enough chairs, the amount of ruckus I will raise. And then I'll also be at MLG Orlando. We have a cool squad there. I want to give a special shout out to Axelav and Striveker, who will be at IEM New York. They are little hatchlings that we're sending off to a big tournament. Axelev's been slashing heads off, and Striveker is actually the secret EG monster. So we're really looking forward to both those guys doing well there. And then, as for me personally, just a big shout out to everyone. Like, I can't say this enough. I've been streaming recently and getting a lot of just awesome feedback and interaction. Quick story for you guys. I played a guy named Heaven on the fucking EU ladder, and at that time, Pandora played the song. It was like Stairway to Heaven or something like that, and it was at 13:37 on EU time. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
You just proved it. Ghosts exist. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Ghosts exist.
Yeah,
Thank
I got
you, Jeff.
touched by the Holy Spirit of StarCraft, man. And then, yeah, I have another story, but I can't remember the names to it, so I can't even tell that one. But it's been really awesome. My fans are really really cool, and I really appreciate them. And yeah, just thank you to everybody.
Oh wait, I have a shout out. I need to say is shout out to Huck. He's so awesome.
That's not Huck. That's Darth Maul.
That is
Oh,
Darth
okay.
Maul.
Shout out to Darth Maul. He's so
Actually,
awesome until he
Huck is
falls down
like-
that pit.
Huck is what an Ewok would be if they ever became a Jedi.
Yoda.
Yeah.
He's
Ah, Huck. This is not me, man. Don't start hating on me because of this.
Oh man.
what was that? What was the one Ewok's name that everybody knew his name? Because he had a spin-off movie too.
What?
One that helps Leia. He has a name. People know his name.
Really?
The stream chat will say it in 1 second. Watch, or
Wow.
gets to him.
Yeah, I don't know.
His
who you're talking
name
about.
was. Come on, the Ewok's name. The only Ewok we know. Wicket. You are. Huck is
What?
Jedi Wicket.
That wasn't an Ewok, man. What are you?
Yeah.
Fucking douchebag.
Oh God. I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry.
What? Fine. He can retaliate. That's cool. Mine was just more clever. Boom.
Soon, after 5 or 10 minutes, come in taxi and pick
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, White Roll, you got any shout outs to give? So we can wrap the show
Yeah,
up?
thank you for inviting me, and thank you for big community support. I have Twitter, Facebook, Twitch TV, and YouTube channels, and they call like Vetra SC, so you can watching all my games. And I want to say I stay in USA before 24 October. I take part IPL3 after MLG Orlando and go like guest in BlizzCon, and maybe in the same day we make announce new product CT Sport. They making Vetra's mouse pad. He named Special Tactics and very good quality. How can check it and mouse.
Nice.
Yeah, mouse. Play
Alexi.
quickly and very good. Yes.
Alexa, you're welcome for telling the Special Tactics story, by the way.
Yes. Thank you. I buy you beer. You remember this?
Oh,
How many? I buy you so many beer. How you can drink one time?
There's another story I told too that hasn't caught
Yeah.
on, but I'll just give that plug right there. There was
Yeah,
another.
no, you keep many story.
White Ross said something absolutely epic when I was with him in Korea. Dan, do you remember what he said?
What was it?
I can't say it. I got to start the goose egg or the Easter egg hunt. I wrote about it on Team Liquid, and it became a little bit of a meme for a while.
About girl?
Oh.
Yeah, but don't no more. Don't say more.
Lie.
I want to know.
No, God.
Let us
Well,
say it.
Jesus.
That's not enough, man. They can't find it like that.
I hope not.
Better bring up all those girlfriend threads. Please, Team Liquid, give me some advice about girls.
Yeah, but Syndicate is awesome page, and we have very friendly community, and I think Syndicate is one of the best esport page in history.
Ooh.
It's
Tyler?
true.
Tyler, shout outs?
Well, shout out to Red Bull. Your event that you put on was pretty awesome. Sam and Nils, the two guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for that event. And of course, shout out to my team and its sponsors, Team Liquid, sponsored by the Little App Factory and Razer. And a final shout out to Stride Gum.
Huck, you got anything you want to say?
Six Pool Gaming
course.
is one I forgot about real quick. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Hey, White Roll would like to shout out to TT Esports. And
Down.
which one of you is going to be at IPL? Any of you guys?
Me.
Jeff will be. Me,
will.
Tyler, and Artosis will not be.
Okay, well, that's unfortunate.
Sorry. I'll see you at MLG.
Yeah, we'll see you at MLG. A couple
I
days
actually
later.
have people tweeting at me right now asking me if I'm really not casting Tasis anymore. People actually don't know sarcasm. They just don't know, man. They don't get it.
God.
I apologize then, because I'm sure some people like
I'm actually a little
steered off.
stressed out. Now they're gonna like start like emailing GOM TV, and they're like, "You quit us? You're not casting with Tasis?" I'm like, "Oh God!" Now I have to explain to someone
Damn.
who speaks almost no English. This is terrible.
I'm in trouble. Sorry, man. I should have finished. I guess I had to.
No English. Sorry, you joke. It's I not have English. My English, my special English.
Your English is fine, White Raw. You try with some of the people I know.
Many joke. Now my English a little bit better when you Ukrainian.
Oh, God. All right. Well, White Raw, thank you so much for coming on. Thanks to everyone else as well. MLG next week on Friday. Watch IPL 3 this weekend, starting on Thursday as well. And then State of the Game will not be happening next Tuesday.
You go to
Bar and strip club.
Bar and strip club.
Oh, jeez.
He prepared before IPL 3.
It'll be,
It'll
be a fun night for them. But, so yeah, no State of the Game next week, but it will be at MLG at 12 EST on Friday. We all should probably be on the show, so tune in there. It'll be on the main MLG stream. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We're out.
And
See you guys
we
later.
have one more friend. He won't say something too.
Okay. Oh, I think he actually, yeah. Oh, it's Zak. There's Zaka.
Yeah.
Guten Tag. Guten Tag, my friend.
All right, we're out, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. We're out. Peace.
Yeah. Bye-bye.